My mother taught me a woman's mind should be the most beautiful part of her. This is your girl, Candy Hustle, and you are now tuned in to Dope Chick with Ambition podcast. Let's go. Hey, my dope chicks, did you miss me? I definitely missed you. I love podcasting, and today I have my senior in the studio with me. That's right, Mommy JJ. Y'all remember when you would, take your kids to work day? Well, at DCWA podcast, it's Bring Your Parent to Work Day. So it's so funny how I got her to come down. I told her I was having, this brunch for my new chapter, which is being a full-time employee with Baller Alert. And she's like, okay, I got to make it. It was so hilarious. Like, she had got jury duty. They called her down. But she's like, no, I have to make this brunch. But I knew I had to tell her about this fabulous brunch, honey, because if I told her I wanted to have her on the podcast, she was going to, push it to the side. Like, she supports me, but she wouldn't be as eager to be on and sit in the hot seat. So I just told her about brunch, and she flew in, and she's now here in the studio. That's her laughing, guys. Don't worry. So I'm hyped about this episode, being that, one, my mom is in town, and two, she can see me behind the scenes of what goes down when I'm recording my episodes. So, hey, Mommy.
Hello.
How did you get out of jury duty?
Well, I told them about my health condition, and they were like, oh, no, we're going to have to excuse you for 3 years. And I was like, 3 years? Okay.
Well, see, that's a blessing then. So you said that you had the health condition. They gave you 3 years of an excused absence, and then you still got to come down here. So, guys, we did go to brunch. We did. It was myself, my girlfriend, Brittany, homegirl. This is Atlanta, so you got to be clear. No rainbow gang. I love the rainbow gang, but I don't rep the rainbow. Anyway, Bread, and then my cousin Pammy and my mom came, and we went to a place. I will not share the name. However, their brunch was horrible. What'd you give it, Mom? Five thumbs down?
A negative.
Dag. -5? Yeah, it was not impressive. So, guys, if you follow me on Instagram at Candy Hustle, you will see the place that I went to brunch, but I won't, give them any bad promo on my actual podcast. But yeah, it definitely wasn't it. So, Mommy, we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to tell the people how you got started in motherhood. So, the year that motherhood launched for you, because motherhood is a business, guys. This stuff is deep. I mean, even though I don't got, children that I birthed, I do have a dog, and being his dog mom, it's really intense. So I can just imagine a human. So, Ma, tell me, how did you arrive?
I'm going to just reverse that just a little bit. There's no comparisons. Fur mom.
Yeah.
Life mom.
Yeah, you can compare that, Ma.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
However, motherhood started in 1982.
Okay.
November the 12th.
Hey, my B-Day. Yeah. So I was your firstborn.
Yes, you were the firstborn. Baby Shan was born. Candace Latoya. 6 pounds, 2 ounces.
Oh.
18.5 inches long.
Oh, God, get me back to birth weight. Jesus, be a miracle and take me back to where I started, honey. So tell me, when you became, a mother so young, what were you thinking, if you can remember? Were you nervous? Were you stressed? What was going through your mind?
Wow. That's a huge question. Well, I was it's probably hard for your listeners to believe this, but I was very introvert. I was a very shy person. It was not that I did not know what could happen if you had unprotected sex. So when folks would refer to you as, oh, you made a mistake, I would correct them and say, no, I didn't make a mistake, because my mom had those talks with me. But being a young girl, even though you had those talks and you were made aware of what could happen, the outcome of having unprotected sex, unmarried and a teenager, pregnancy. So did I share with my mom what I was doing? Absolutely not. Okay. So with that being said, my boyfriend and I created a child. And I don't know. 15, you're young. You don't know anything. You think you know, you don't. So it was challenging, but I had good parents that instilled goodness in me, so education was very important. So it did not interrupt my education. I continued to go to school and thrive. I was top of my class, and I did very well. I even attended college afterwards. So I still maintained a teenage life with the responsibility of having a child. I think the important thing was there was a village. I had, like I said, great parents that supported you. You had a great father who was supportive. When I say that, he was there and financially. And we just had we had a close-knit family.
Okay.
So with that being said, and not that I'm glamorizing being pregnant as a teenager, I'm absolutely not supporting because I'm certain that it has its woes. There are times, there are things that I wish I could have done but couldn't do because I had you, or things that I wanted but we had to get for you. Then I had to go from having my own room and own space to sharing my space in my parents' home with you. We were never raised as sisters. I was always your mom. So I guess the challenge was making some decisions that a teenager would not be faced with if they didn't have a child.
Okay. That was a great response, Mom. So you aren't saying, go out, have children at a young age, but you are saying
Absolutely
that
not.
it's not the end of the world and you must face the consequences going forward. Be
Absolutely.
responsible with
Yeah,
it.
be responsible.
Okay.
I still encourage parents, older siblings, have that talk with your children, about sex. Don't be afraid to have that talk. But be more involved when I say be more involved, pay more attention as to what your child is doing. My parents worked and they worked odd hours. So I had a little bit more free time. And with that being said, with that free time allowed me and your father to create you. So again, I just say, just pay attention.
Okay. So anyone who has, children that's possibly going into teen years or even younger kids too, just really tap in and stay in tune with your kids to know what they're doing. So that way you can prevent certain things, to not sneak up on you. So, Mommy, you have me in 1982, and then you said, I'm going to do it again, and I want another child. And you had my brother, his name is Dwan, but I call him Memen. Well, we all call him Memen. So, yes, he's in his 30s, but we still call him either Man or Memen. So, did you plan that pregnancy, or was that something that you...
No, that was a planned pregnancy. Because I had you so young, and I didn't want that huge age gap. That's another negative. When you become a teenage mom, you don't want to impose having children back to back on whomever your parent is or who's ever responsible for you. So there's the age gap, 7 years apart. And his father and I at the time, he wanted a child and I wanted the second one. Again, I just didn't like the huge age gap. So your brother was planned.
Okay, so Memen was planned, and when you became a parent of two at the age of, was it 22?
Yes.
How did that affect your life then?
Again, I am not trying to paint my life as easygoing because it definitely wasn't easygoing, but I wasn't faced with the trials and tribulation that most people who had children young did. Again, like I said, I was educated. I went to college. I've always secured a great job. So with that being said, I grew up in a well-kept home. I had two parents who were employed, so I knew what it took in how I should provide for you and your brother, and that's what I did. So I always maintained a comfortable home setting for the both of you. Education was always important, and always spoke about in our family. So you guys were very much aware of that and what I expected. So with that being said, I guess the juggle, gosh, I'm not really certain what the juggle was because I don't think either one of you went without. Again, I had a very supportive family unit, and without that, God, I don't know what our lives would have been, being young and having 2 kids. But like I said, I've always maintained employment. If we want to talk about individually raising each child, that was tough, having you guys 7 years apart. It was almost if I did still have you were an only child and he became an only child because you weren't really raised together. So you were very spoiled. You've always been strong-headed, and
That is so hilarious.
Your mind would be made up. You made your own, not your own decisions, but you know what I mean. We had input, but
Right. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was going to ask you, like, what type of kid was I growing up?
very independent, very free-spirited, not afraid to try anything. So you would
Really?
sign up for cheerleading and then bring the paper home and say, Mommy, you have to sign this and this is how much it costs. You would sign up for activities and just bring the paper to me and say, okay, sign.
Right.
You need to have my transportation available on this day, or this costs this and that. So it was never like a discussion like, Mom, can I? It's like, I signed myself up for this and it's going to cost you that.
And I'm cracking up because, guys, when I tell you that I did a lot, I was involved in everything. Like, if it was popping in the hood, I was there. And my mom and my family, we are a popular family on the west side of Rochester, New York. So when people would see me, they would, say, hi, I know your mother, I know your uncle. I know everybody knew someone that was related to me. And if I needed a ride home or if I needed money or something, it was just like back in the day, the community really looked out. And I think that's what we don't have these days now,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
No one ever, chastised me or put their hands on me. They knew not to do that, but they knew to say, I see you and I'm going to report it to your mother. But because everyone knew me, I was just always on the scene. So yes, I've always been independent. Yes, I've always had a strong mind. Free spirit? I don't think I'm free. Am I free spirited?
Yeah, you're very free spirited. When I say free spirited, you didn't mind taking a chance.
Okay. Got you.
And some things you joined without even thinking about it. You just wanted to be a part of.
Right.
The excitement and just being there. So free spirited, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the type of kid I was growing up. Of course, there were times you guys heard her mention that I was spoiled. So I did have some things with me. I would throw tantrums. Remember when Grandpa fell on the ground with me or told you to leave me on the ground when I had a tantrum?
Yes. So the tantrums with Candace didn't just end at 2 or at 3. Candace had tantrums at 4. At 5.
Hey.
Yeah, you were just that person, you know. And then I think you got over them. Yeah, your grandfather came to Rochester to visit, and we were in the mall, and you fell out on the floor screaming and kicking, and he just said, "Let's go walk," and left her there, and she was there for a few minutes. It felt like eternity, but it wasn't. And my dad said, "She'll get up. She'll get it together." He said, "We don't have time for this." And she did. She got up. She dusted herself off like, okay. Hey, wait.
Hey, wait a minute. So did you want any more children after you had me and MaMa?
I did, but due to complications, this body said no way. So
Oh,
God
okay.
said,
So they said no
Yes.
more children.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know that you do have, you always like taking in smaller children. You've always had that motherly, appeal about you. Did you always take like the motherly role with anyone within your friends, like family, stuff like
Yes.
that?
And I just have a huge passion for family, and I love kids. I love children. If I could have, I would have probably had 4. Again, like I said, it wasn't in the story for me. But I absolutely love and adore children. I think they're precious and they should be protected and guided. So with that being said, I'm always open arm when it comes to kids. So you know that already.
Yes. So what about, okay, so I wanted to bring you on to also talk about like the good and the bad, because, you know, we've had adversity in our relationship, and I feel as though it's gotten a lot better as I've gotten older. I feel as though like I'm more understanding of your role as a mother. Once you get older, you start seeing things like, okay, well, maybe she did things this way because of this and X, Y, Z. And sometimes it's not even about you per se as the child. You had your own life and who you were well before we arrived. So you still have things that you have to take care of, and then also be a mother, because that can be like a lot. So what do you think is like a conflict, or why is there such a conflict usually with mothers and daughters? Because it just wasn't our relationship. It was with other people.
And I think it's because of your personality. You're just very strong-willed. And sometimes with you, it's better that you find out the consequence. You learn from your consequence.
Trial and error, definitely.
Yes. Opposed to me saying to you prior to, Candace, if you touch that stove, you're going to get burnt because it's hot. And I can say that to you and show you proof that if you touch a hot stove, you can get burnt. You were just that one that, I don't believe you. I'm going to touch the stove and prove you wrong. And then you get burnt. And then it's like, oh, okay.
And that's so funny, because I told my new boss with Baller Alert, I said, I'm from the show. I said, I had called out something and she showed me screenshots. She was like, do you want me to continue? And I'm like, nope, I'm from the show me state and you showed me, I'm good. I always have to see, like, show me. And then it's like, oh, okay. Even if you're telling me, you still got to show me. I'm sorry. That's just how I am.
And I think that being a parent, that's difficult, because it's almost as if that child is challenging you.
Right.
And I think that's where some of our problems, you know, between you and I came about, is the challenge that you would present. Yes, I want you to be able to speak up for yourself and be independent. I've always wanted that for you. But there's a time and place for it. It's a time and place of where you need to exert that behavior. And I think that's why, and again, the age gap. Not the age gap, I'm sorry.
The closeness
of our age.
Right.
I still didn't know myself, even though I pride myself on being that I'm a good mom. I was still growing and needed to learn who Jeanette really was. I didn't know who she was, because as I was still going through, I'm going to say puberty, but I had a child at the same time, and then I had to learn to still be that child, be a student, and raise a child.
Right.
So
that's a lot. That is a lot. So once, you get older, for anyone who probably is raising, their daughters right now, and it's a conflict, and you're just like, oh, I want to strangle her. Before you even go there or let her get the best of you, just try to take a step back and even get therapy involved, because like it's a lot of layers in between you as the parent and then the child themselves. They're still growing, and like I said, they don't know you from before they arrived, and then you're still trying to learn yourself and figure out life as well as a parent.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure. So what type of feedback would you have as a parent? I'm not a parent yet, so what I just said was just a suggestion from a non-parent standpoint, but what would you say for anyone?
I am going to say each child in each situation is very unique, and you can only approach and deal with that at that time. So when I say this with the most, oh my God, compassion, that we can say now in this moment that you have to be patient, you have to be open-minded. It's easier said when you're sitting and conversing about a topic, but when you're in the moment of, sometimes those things do not come into play. You would hope that you would remember. In some cases you do. But again, each child is very different. You and your brother are very opposite. You know, kids are different. And it takes time and prayer, and with you and I, that's what it took, giving you your space, allowing you to think things over, and me standing my grounds. I think sometimes with our relationship, I would give in at some point when I probably should have not, but I'm not a confrontational person, and I don't like arguments. But I think know each child. Each child is different. Know a person, and just respecting. You have to respect your children. I think that's the key thing. Even though you wear the title mom or dad, you still have to respect that individual because we are each a person. So you have to have that respect for one another.
Okay. And I did listen and process to everything that you mentioned. I personally don't think that you gave in. That's just my standpoint, just because I feel like you can be very prideful at time, and you're not going to address things immediately. You do want to process, but you didn't give in to me. You would just, either not talk about it and then try to come back later on.
I didn't address it, yes.
Exactly. Yes. So I don't think that was a give in. That was just more or less like a give in would have been when I was a kid, a little kid, like, Mom, can I? But some days you would still stand firm on that. Like, no, guys, one time I had boys in the house and she canceled a very important event. I was going to have a sleepover and I had boys in the house. My younger brother ratted me out and she pretty much canceled my whole sleepover. And I'm looking like, are you serious? So I was stressed out about that.
That is a rule that was broken.
Right, but you didn't give in.
Yeah, I didn't give in on
right.
that.
So
but there were times where I did.
Can I have an example, ma'am? What? I want to know.
You only have how many hours?
Can I have, Mom, don't worry. Give me one example when you gave in and when you shouldn't have.
Oh, let me see. Her 16th birthday. Oh,
no, not that one. Yeah. What did you give in for that?
I had purchased you like a $600 Averex jacket.
Okay.
And you were somewhere that you shouldn't have been. And I wanted to punish you, but I felt so bad because you felt bad that your coat was stolen.
But how would you have punished me for that? What would have been the punishment?
I don't know at the time, but I wanted to punish you.
No, you didn't. You were stressed out that it got lost, and then you sent God Dad over there, and he did what he needed to do, and that was that.
I'm going to say this. I was upset that you were somewhere that you shouldn't have been, and I did want to punish you. You probably don't remember all that, but you were so heartbroken about what had happened.
Right, but I don't know.
That was
about
a pass.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know. There's a few times. I just can't think of them right now.
Guys, this lady was stern. But also, I will say my mom, she knew that I was a good kid and I wasn't a follower. I was a leader. And so whatever I wanted to do, what I'm getting to, I'm saying this, I said all of that to say this, is that you allowed me to do things and knew I was going to make the right decision. So when I say you were stern, it wasn't that you were like, iron fist. It was just like you had certain things that you like to implement as a mom. But I would say you were pretty lenient because you trusted me.
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think we had those important talks and that you knew my expectations. So I did have that trust for you. You're absolutely right.
We didn't have talks. You just trusted me. I don't know. I think that you just knew that, okay, Candace does not like to stay at people's house. I ain't have to worry about her to stay out all night. She's going to come in, at a decent hour, lock the door, and say, Mom, I'm home. I would check in. So pretty much with that, we're in the studio, so Mom is not used to recording. She's moving a little bit, and I'm like, hey, you can't. It's going to pick up all of that, so don't judge us. We have a newbie alert. So, Ma, tell me more, like, as far as, like, your outlook on me now. Do you think you did well raising me as far as where I am in my life right now, or do you think that you wish you could have did some things different?
Yes, I'm very proud of you and where you are in your life. Yes, we all probably think that we could have done something differently, but I wouldn't change it. You wouldn't be the person that you are if I go back and rewrite a page.
Okay. That makes sense. No, I agree. You want to, embrace the journey that got me here.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you this. What makes you keep going in life?
What motivates me to continue in life? Um, my my kids.
Okay.
My kids. And then I was blessed with 3 bonus granddaughters
The
that
loop
mean the
loops.
world to me. And because of them, they make me want to even go harder and be a better person, because I know that they look up to me and I adore them. So with that being said, I want to be that second or that third voice, besides their parents, that encourages them to do the right thing and be better people.
Okay, and you are giving some great answers. That's leading into the next question. When I do make you a grandmother, because you got that grandmother fever, y'all, she be on it. What type of grandmother do you aspire to be? Like, you know.
Just as I am with my loop loops now, encouraging, and then that grandma where they can come over and do what they want to do, and I can send them back home. But like, I think the same as I was with my kids.
Okay.
I want to teach them the things that they need to know, protect them, guide them, and just be a special part of his or her life.
Okay. And if you can have brunch with any celeb, who would it be?
Oh wow, that's a tough one.
Do, do, do,
Gosh, the
do.
one that wow.
You need the music or no? Because I'll do the music.
No, that's a tough question. A celeb
Living.
living. For some reason, the old school rappers are
Excuse
getting
me?
my interest again, and there's just something about their background story that you don't really know, that you thought played out in their songs, but someone that I would really want to sit down and just get a better understanding would be at this point, I think Jadakiss. Something about him impresses me, just beyond his music and the stage presence. I was reading some articles about him that I would just want to sit and just to get to know him better, because he seems like he's a great friend to his friends.
Okay.
And I would want to ask questions about, how do you have this longevity as friends and as co-workers, as a group? What did it take, and what pushed them into that direction?
And that is so odd. That's why I'm like speechless, kind of. Guys, these type of questions are very important. Just in case you think you know your parent or you know your spouse, these type of questions will expose what you know about them. My mother is a hardcore Michael Jordan fan, Oprah Winfrey, and LeBron James. You said this is hard, and those are 3 people that you loved.
I
What
think
happened?
because I followed them enough, and I research, and I've read up on Michael Jordan. There's nothing that I don't think I know about him, and Oprah, that I think their exposure in the world as being so well known to the world, that's not who I would want to sit down and speak to. I would want to sit down with someone that has captivated me now that I don't know much about.
Interesting. All right. And the final question. When I become a millionaire, what do you want me to buy you first? The most expensive gifts? Well, hold on, guys. I'll give you a few minutes to think, mommy.
Can I correct you on one thing?
Hold on.
I'm not a huge LeBron James fan.
You
I
changed
like
it? No, ma,
It was Dwayne Wade, Candace.
No, it was LeBron.
I'm not LeBron James.
Okay.
Okay.
It used to be. All right. When I
you know your
become a millionaire, what do you want me to buy you first? And look, I said I'll give you a few minutes to think, because listen, y'all, my mom has expensive tastes and she already requests expensive items with my current income. So let's see what she's going to request when the millions start rolling in. What do you want? Your first purchase?
The first purchase is I
Write
want
this down.
a huge house.
A huge house, Mom, you have to maintain it, clean it, go up and down them stairs. You got to have all that. You got to keep all of that
A huge
amount.
house with a servant.
A huge house. Don't want to say servant. That sounds like slave time. So you want a cleaning service or a butler or a maid?
Well, what's staffing?
Jeffrey. They're going to take that damn bell out you. And they can't ring it. What's wrong with my bell? Like, Hulk, who goes there? Okay, so I'm going to write this down today at 4:18. Hey, 18. 4:18 on the 12th of September. This lady says she wants a huge house with staffing. And that's it. That's all you're going to get from me. And then you're going to have a budget because you got an expensive taste. All right, so what you going to say?
I was going to say because I know one day my children were going to be well off, and I manifest.
Guys, oh, she's so cute. She listen, guys, I have a fear of something particular. I can't share it with you because people will use fears against you. So I'm very fearful of something. And so we come up my house and this particular something is doing a little lurking. And so she's mentioning a story about the something. And I'm like, why would you say that? She's like, I don't believe in that. It's all coincidence. And I'm like, huh? No, it's power in your tongue. I can't help it. Like we were talking about a Solera earlier, and guess what we pulled up on? A Solera. Now, money, I don't know why money doesn't come as fast, but anything else is going to show up. Dope chicks, you know that dude you don't like anymore, but God, I saw Roger. I can't stand Roger. Why he was on Facebook liking all that. Next thing you know, Roger calling you. Roger was not in the mix a few months ago, but as soon as you start saying something about Roger, he popping up. Guys, make sure that y'all do not mention stuff and just know the things that you mention, they can manifest. So I'm talking about millions and she's talking about some things that I don't like. Don't do that. All right, Mom, give them a gem and we are going to wrap up this episode. Give them some like a nice motivational gem.
As a mom?
As a human. You're a human first.
Just be yourself.
Okay, give us one as a mom.
Listen, I wasn't done.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
And know this, that the heart is gentle. And the heart wants what the heart wants. But you have to be in control and have patience. That's my gem.
That is her gem. Yay! Mommy made the show. Thank you so much for coming into town. Guys, she works for Delta. She has cute little flight benefits. So she's in here for one day and she'll be leaving the next. But I thank you so much, Mommy, for taking out time, traveling down here to be on Dope Chick with Ambition podcast. Guys, make sure that you are subscribed on Apple Podcasts and you also leave reviews. Do the ratings. Give me 5 stars. Nothing less because you know I go hard for y'all. And make sure that you're following Dope Chick with Ambition on Instagram and also like the page on Facebook. So this is your girl Kenzie Hustle and I do thank you for tuning in. Mwah.